Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing great wherever you are and appreciate you being here. It's kind of an autumnal day today, but I feel like I'm in the pink. I feel like wearing pink today and I hope I'm not too glowy, but I just wanted to talk to you about something that has had such an impact in my life overall and specifically the last year, and that is technology. Now, you may say to yourself, I'm not very good at tech, or I don't understand technology, it's just sort of not my thing, but it has empowered us so much over the last year, and I think it's going to continue to be a driving force in our lives for so long. And I wanted to address your fears and talk about being fearless and embracing fearlessness in moving forward with learning about technology and bringing it into your life and maybe not at the extreme that other people are doing. Some people are, all over the place on every social media channel and enjoying Instagram and Twitter and, Facebook and so on. And I do understand that there are some women in our community who do not want to be part of Facebook. And I do understand, I really do. I know people have had experiences that have sort of put them off, but I want to kind of reassure you about a couple of things and give you some ideas to maybe reflect on that. Now, Roseanne Ullman is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this article on how to get better at technology by embracing fearlessness. And it's like, we can go the path of excuses that we've always gone down, but I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to think a little differently about that. And if you aren't interested, of course, you won't be watching this video. So if you're here and you're interested, this is a place to be for the conversation. Now, there's lots of excuses. And maybe the top one is, I'm too old. I'm too old. Like if you're, in your 60s, 70s, and you think I've learned so many things over my life and I'm just too old to learn anything new. No more. That's not an appropriate excuse, in my opinion. There are lots of them. We're not too old to do anything. And if that's 60 and Me's mantra, I think that's got to be what we believe in, that you're never too old to start again, to build a new business, to start a new dream, to start a new relationship, to make new friends, to move, to downsize. You're never too old. But if you've got excuses like, I don't have time, well, that's what you're saying there, is that I'm not going to prioritize that. We prioritize the things that we want to do. And so saying I haven't got time is an excuse. And that's an excuse that you might want to follow, and that's fine, but it's something that you can challenge yourself on. You can be fearless about. Now, the second thing is, well, it's really no better than the way I'm doing it now. I write letters, I look up things in the library books, it's efficient. That's the way that I do things. I'm happy with that. But is that really, making really great use of the hours in your day, the days in your life, to be, taking that when you've got it right at your fingertips? And this is the thing that, I know I worked at Microsoft. People know Bill Gates's phrase, information at your fingertips. And it is that freedom to be educated and to learn like that quickly. Third thing is, I'm just bad at technology. I just don't get it. Now, I use that excuse with languages. And people say, why don't you learn German, or why don't you learn French? I just say, I'm just not very good with languages. And that is my excuse. I know it's not a particularly valid one, but I do think some people are more tuned and wired for certain things. And so if you don't feel comfortable with technology, then that's a reasonable excuse, but it's not one that you can't face, that you can't challenge, because I think that that's the whole thing with technology, is saying, it's here. I'm going to be around for another 20, 30 years or whatever. And in fact, technology might even take you further. That's the kind of beauty of technology, the things that are being discovered and invented, and the innovation. So if you feel behind in, technology, you feel like you need to get some catching up, do it. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to delete things you weren't supposed to, or you're going to make a mess of something, but that's how you do it. That's how you learn. And surely over our years, 60 years or more, we've made enough mistakes to know that it's no big deal. When you make a mistake, it's no big deal. We just move on to the next thing, right? And embrace fearlessness. So if you have something that you need to do, go to Google or Bing, if Microsoft, search engine, there's lots of them, and just type in how do I whatever. And I'm telling you, within 30 seconds or less, you will have a video, an article, a blog, something explaining how you do that thing. Now, for example, what did I do yesterday? There was something I did yesterday. Oh, I was trying to get on my iPhone. I couldn't figure out how to turn on the personal hotspot. So, which is something that you can, if you're not in Wi-Fi area, you can't get onto the internet, you can use your phone. So I just typed it in. How do I connect my personal and it told me like in an instant. And I was there in the cafe and I did what it told me and I was set. And also I bought a was it a sewing? No, it wasn't a sewing machine, but it was something to do with threading. How do you thread something through this machine? And it was like perfect. Oh, it was a wool thing. How you do a certain stitch. It was on Google, no problem. So anyway, Roseanne talks about some different things that you can do, practical things that you can use technology for, and how to use Zoom, for example, for talking to people, joining group meetings, and everyone's zoomed out perhaps a bit, but it's going to become, over the next few years, the way that we talk to each other. Facetime, Skype, those are communication tools that are almost like a given now for me. I mean, I just can't see my life really being that enriched and just saving time and connecting with people without those tools. So Zoom, Facebook, FaceTime, and Skype. And by the way, we did a video on Facebook, which if anyone's interested, if you're a little nervous about Facebook, telling you how you can set your settings in Facebook, things that you probably didn't even think about. Simple things you can do in your settings that will basically eliminate people contacting you that you don't want, being afraid of being taken advantage of. You can block them all from your settings in Facebook. Don't forget though, however, I will qualify this. Facebook and the internet are open platforms. Anyone can join them. So occasionally on 60andMe website and on Facebook, we do get inappropriate comments. I ban them immediately. I block them. There's ways of doing that. But yes, if you're using the internet for any purpose, you're going to find potentially intruders, people that you don't want to, or ads or things that you just don't want to be bothered by. It's part of the give and take. It's a fair exchange, in my opinion. So first thing she talks about, Roseanne talks about is unleashing your creativity. And there are so many cool things. Fun projects like drawing online, for example, doing coloring, joining groups online that are doing oil painting or quilting or knitting. So many cool groups. And, it's fun to knit, but how much fun is it in a group? Book clubs, if you love to read, and so many of our women love to read, perfect opportunity to go and read as a group, share your comments, share your thoughts, your questions. And those are just another ways to be creative in your life. Things she talks about, like playing or composing a song on a keyboard, electronic keyboard. You can do these online. There's websites for everything. Now, some of them charge money. And in Roseanne's article, she does make a very strong caution that if you're going to download any free software like free photo editing or free music, be careful, because some of them are sites that you don't want to go to. One thing I will just give you a little bit of advice on how to use technology. There's Google is of course the big search engine on the internet. So they have over the last couple of years put together some guidelines for safe browsing. Now, when you go to a website, it will normally say HTTP : and then www and then the name. Over the last couple of years, Google has been kind of forcing businesses to go to a more protected level. And so that's HTTPS, as in sugar, : / for www. So if you go to a website and it says HTTP, the words next to it will be not secure. So it will tell you that site has not upgraded to the HTTPS format. Now, it's not necessarily a bad site. Some people just did not want to go to the trouble of updating their site. And if people are just doing a small website, it does take a bit of money, and you have to buy some certificate and things to upgrade. But those that really care about security are HTTPS. So that's an important one. So if you find these really cool sites that Roxanne's talking about, just be aware. She talks about, for example, photo editing. You can do this at a site called Pixlr.com, Pixlr. She's in the article, where you can actually resize pictures, edit them. There's one that was really cool. It was transforming a picture into an oil painting. So you can take a really favorite painting and you can like literally have it turned into a painting with the little cracks in the glass, and it's really, really cool. I checked it out. Also, she talks about collages. Now, I'm a huge collage fan. If you could see my room, I've got pictures all around, collages like with 30, 40 pictures, tiny ones in a collage. there's websites online that you can do that for free. There are some that for video editing, for example, where you can do those, but there are some charges for subscriptions on many of those. And you have to kind of understand that everything cannot be free on the internet, because people are working behind the scenes a job. They're doing a job, doing things that are providing services to you. So you have to be aware that maybe the content is free, but they'll ask you for a donation or they'll ask you for a subscription. And why not? You're doing your job, or you've done your job. They also have to do theirs and be paid for it. They have to pay their rent, buy their food. So you just have to be aware. And the same applies to 60andMe, to be honest. So we put advertising on our site because that's how we earn money to pay our expenses. So video editing is one thing she talks about, and that's another one thing she talks about. Wave.video is one that she uses to do, like, instead of just creating an album, you can put pictures together and send a little video to your grandson or your grandchildren or your family or friends. And in the article, I check it out, there's lots of links to just sites that she's discovered that are really, really cool. And social media, of course, we talked about Facebook, we talked about Instagram and Twitter. You're going to get people asking to join you or to follow you. And I just set all of my social media channels, except for Facebook, 60andMe, as private. And then you get to choose. Someone wants to follow you, you can say yes or no. And I would say 80% of the people who ask to follow me on my personal channels are not appropriate. So in the sense that I don't know them. I mean, they may not be bad people, but I just don't know them. And if I don't know someone on my personal channels, then that's one thing. 60andMe, I just make sure it's a woman over 60-ish. And, and I enjoy those channels. I personally love technology. I love it. I just love it. It's opened up so many different parts of my life. I'm able to do this kind of video for you on YouTube. And by the way, please subscribe to our channel. Push that subscribe button, please, please, because it strengthens my channel. And we want to share more of this with more women. So if you press subscribe, it's just below the video, that will basically tell YouTube that you like me and that this channel is one that you would recommend. And then there's a notification bell just next to that where you can press that and you will be informed when I upload a new video, which is about 4 times every week. A lot of people ask me about that because we're not promoting my videos on Facebook anymore. We just put them out on YouTube. So in case you've been wondering, this is where we are. So thank you for subscribing if you've done so. And if you haven't, please, I would appreciate it. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you again for being here. I really do value. Oh, I do need to mention one more thing, which is our Patreon channel. This is a closed group. So if you're really worried about all these other things I've mentioned in technology, it's a closed supporters group, Patreon, patreon.com/60andme, another place to chat with women in a more private way. So have a great day, everybody. Take good care online and everywhere. I know that I think about you and I love you all, and just take very good care, and we'll speak to you all again soon. Stay well. Bye-bye.